Welcome everyone to the showdown between the Empire, who shall be led by Markus Wolfhart, the dreaded Sunmaker, and a steam tank, that three-piece with a coat coming in hot. We'll see if it can do well against Avelorn, who shall be led by the Ever Queen. And it looks like a fairly traditional build with a bunch of archers, dryads, spearmen, all that sort of good stuff. Now for my build, it's going to be swordsmen in the front line. Swordsmen usually do a pretty good job fighting against like high elf spearmen and just kind of those baseline troops. However, against Avelorn, it is a bit of a different picture. Swordsmen will struggle against dryads and will lose that fight, but nonetheless, for the cost, I think that's the way to go in this matchup. So we do also have a meme tank, a lot of very expensive units, and I'm not sure how they're going to work out. Well, of course, I know the outcome of the game, but going into this game, I was like, oh man, is this going to be too much action here? But the steam tank, I think, is a pretty decent choice against high elves. It gives you ranged artillery pressure that can be healed pretty effectively, of course, against the the archers and kind of a lot of those backline units. And on top of that, we have Markus Wolfhart. Markus, of course, a very good sniper. So if the Ever Queen's flying around on her pigeon, cackling at you, Markus can slap that net on her. He can get some really good shots with Amber Bow and focus shot. Yeah, we'll see how he does. On top of that, we have a couple baseline archers. I was like, yeah, let's get some ranged play. And if the archers get focused, they're in a loose formation. They only cost 375, and it's really not a big deal. So I'd rather he be shooting these archers than anything else in my army, basically. We got the Sunmaker in the back, and the Sunmaker, you guys saw that replay. I believe it was like a week ago, where we used the Sunmaker against high elves, and it actually did pretty well. It was pretty efficient at killing Lothern Seaguard and archers, and really, I mean, most of the time in this matchup, it comes down to just spamming a ton of archers in the back line. So I was like, oh, let's try the Sunmaker out again. Granted, we are on a Dark Elf map, so he has a little bit more room to hide. It could be a little bit less efficient, but we'll see how he does. On top of that, we have a couple Empire Knights as well, so normally I would like a little bit higher cav quality here in this matchup, but considering we have a Sunmaker and a steam tank, we had to cut corners somewhere. Last but not least, we had Spearmen, Silver Bullets, as well as another group of Spearmen, and we do also have a Jade Wizard with some fat heals. So for my opponent's army, Battleborn here, going to be coming in hard with Spearmen, Dryads in the secondary line, Lothern Seaguard on the outside. So you guys notice that he has Lothern Seaguard here and here on the outsides of the formation. Really good play for sure. Because if my cav want to come through the front, he can maneuver spears. If I want to pressure the sides, he has Lothern Seaguard, which essentially work as spear units. They have, basically spears, they advance at large, and charge defense as well. So very, very good deployment from him. He does also have a couple Silver Helms. He does have Alariel the Radiant with the fat heals, a Noble on a Chariot, maybe to penetrate into my bow and gun line, and some Reavers as well. So that's going to be it for his force. And I think 2 Silver Helms, 2 Reavers. And Silver Helms are honestly pretty good. They can beat Empire Knights in straight combat and gives him some pressure there. So see how it goes. Let's get the show on the road and see if the Sunmaker can sing once again on the faces of these high elves here. So the steam tank's going to be coming forward, getting some pot shots. I believe I start shooting at archers. I can't quite remember, but we might actually go after dryads as well. I don't really have too many great tools to actually deal with dryads aside from maybe my archer play. So yeah, I think we're going to be shooting at the dryads initially, figuring that the Sunmaker is going to be able to focus down the archers, and my Empire Knights can maybe get into that back line as well. So Alariel's not on her pigeon. She's on a horse, which will make her a little bit tougher to snipe, but nonetheless, I guess in this matchup, you don't really need the eagle. Empire has pretty good powder. So the Sunmaker coming in with its first volley, making a little bit of contact here against the dryads, but the archers and other units in the back weren't quite in range. The dryad's probably not as good of a target as like spearmen and archers because they're loosely packed, so it's not going to be making as good of contact. But basically, I'm like, okay, let's focus down these dryads, and when they get close, we can use all our archers plus his silver bullets to really hammer them, and from there, maybe we can break off his dryads quickly. He does have 3 groups here, so Sunmaker is going to be switching targets now, going in the back against the archers. So here comes a volley right there, steam tank aiding as well, and that's what I'm talking about. That's the real estate that I'm looking to buy. That's that sweet 2-for-1 deal right there, and we're able to get those archers pretty good. So here come the shots. Next volley isn't as great, so if you guys are going to use the Sunmaker in multiplayer or in campaign, it's probably more efficient to switch targets like every time you make contact, because you want to be aiming for those like high mass units, and as you do take out units and kind of bunker bust their formation, it's going to be getting a little bit looser. So in the back, these spears definitely need to pull up. So all my archers here are going to be unloading against the dryads, and we'll also be pulling back these swordsmen if memory serves. And the steam tank is also a great frontline tool. It hits pretty hard, has terror as well. Dryads are immune to psychology, so it's not going to be terribly efficient, but we are able to kind of butter up those dryads there, giving the swordsmen a chance to probably win that engagement. So realizing he has a wider army with more pressure, I will be using the Empire Knights in the inner pocket, so I'm not going to be trying to contest the flanks. I basically pull back here and will be using them to kind of screen out Silver Helms and other troops like that. Some of the dryads do get back here, so I pull in the Empire Knights to intercept. That's basically what I'm using them as, is like a defensive tool, but it's going to be hard to defend. So here in the front, we do use the net from Markus. Basically, I wanted to kind of net down this noble and keep him from penetrating into the back line. And the Silver Helms back here, or the Silver Bolts, excuse me, are going to be unleashing into the Silver Helms. A lot of silver going on in this battle. Can get a little bit confusing. But yeah, the Sunmaker's doing okay. Not as good as it did in the previous game, but it still has 47 kills, which isn't bad, and it is an issue that my opponent may have to deal with, although it looks like it might just run out of ammo. One of the few artillery pieces that usually does run out of ammo in its entirety before your opponent can do anything. So the steam tank, like I said, a really good mobile pressure piece. High elves, again, usually don't bring a ton of AP in this matchup. They just spam archers and Lothern Seaguard. So having a huge armored beast, 160 armor that can be healed, going through the front line, terror routing off a lot of the high elf units is incredibly valuable. So we're going to be pulling back our state troops here. pulling back these swordsmen to kind of defend the silver bullets, and I have a nice little last samurai position going. Silver bullets are tucked in very defensively. I have spears defending them from multiple angles, and we're able to use the Empire Knights not to kill things, but basically we use the Empire Knights as a roadblock. Just use them to kind of tar pit. They have good armor, right? So I mean, might as well use them in that capacity. Silver helms, of course, have pretty bad AP, but the Sunmaker singing all over the face of these archers. Thunderous impact coming in. Now, normally it would be hard for Empire to kind of do this kind of damage against these guys, but like, because the High Elves are going to be able to defend the back line, Empire Knights, of course, aren't going to be super efficient at getting back here. So the Sunmaker doing pretty well, up to 83 kills. Certainly not going to complain about that. And some of my Empire Knights do get back here as well. Some Dryads are going to be able to kind of peel them off, because these are the Empire Knights that won the engagement with the steam tank. So they have pretty much free range back here. As you can see, they're just riding down Dryads and getting into the... Oh, look at that one get just lanced right there. Nonetheless, though, you can see the Star of Avelorn is going to be going down to the Noble. Markus Wolfhart has been using his sniping abilities on the Noble. We used the Amber Bow and the Focus Shot, and we were able to really punish that Noble pretty efficiently. So now really the most important thing for me is going to be protecting silver bullets, as I do slightly pull ahead on the bounce of power here. Sunmaker only has one more volley left, but still it's finished off these Lothar and Seaguard pretty well. It's up to 133 kills, hot damn! Making that sweet, sweet sun right there. So we're able to just pound those guys in the back line, while the Empire Knights that were able to win this flank engagement are now just riding through the back line, up to 126 kills, just feasting on the souls of these archers. So right here, we're going to be dropping another focus shot. I believe Markus was charging it up, but I think he got obstructed there at the last second. So Markus just going to be shooting it against Silver Helms and these other troops. And the Silver Bullets are going to be trying to fall back, but unfortunately the Noble here is going to be pursuing. But guys, I have another Hunter Snare coming up. So despite Markus's nerfs, I still think he's a great, powerful lord. I think the nerfs were very justified, but I still think that Markus is a top tier character. So I was getting a focus shot, but then all these Illyrian Reavers came in. I was like, no, like I really wanted to get that just glorious execution off on this guy. So we pulled the Silver Bullets, we put them in guard mode, and they're going to be going for that point blank shot right here. So hold, fire, fire, reload, fire. They're going to be going in, just blasting this Noble right in the face here, but he is going to be able to get in there and potentially shut those guys down with a little bit of help here from the Silver Helms. So with that backline pressure done, my opponent does kind of normalize the bounce of power a little bit. Now Markus is still here, the steam tank's in really good shape, and with all these spears surging in, we should be able to stabilize the silver bullets. Alariel, the Ever Pigeon, or the Ever Queen, who's without her pigeon today, is just kind of trundling in the backfield. Looks like she was trying to chase off some Empire Knights who've come back, and I think my opponent was able to kind of stabilize his back line. I don't think I have anything back here really pressuring him. So the Noble's coming in. Markus gets a really, really good shot right there. I believe he got, oh, here comes the focus shot, I think. Looks like something dramatic's winding up here. Here it comes. No, he's switching to Alariel now. Okay, so here comes the shot. I think she's going to be able to get the charge off before, but Alariel does get slapped in the face pretty good by that, and Markus draws his sword, ready to face down the Ever Queen, and Markus is a better duelist. His combat stats are pretty good, if I'm not mistaken, although Alariel's aren't bad at all, actually. Wow, maybe hers are better. Jeez, she's pretty powerful in melee, it looks like, well, for a caster character. So the steam tank's going to be fighting here. The Sunmaker crew is, they haven't gotten enough kills quite yet, so the Sunmaker is going to be coming in here to fight. Silver bullets are able to stabilize with the spear, so now I can form a firing pocket once again, which means I can pepper Alariel, and it looks like she did take some pretty serious damage from Markus Wolfhart in melee combat, because he also shoots his bow. So we're going to be lining up a shot. Here it comes. Look at the arc on that. If that makes contact, all the elven archers in the realm will be put to shame. But yeah, I was going to say that was a pretty high or low probability shot right there. So the steam tank's going to be fighting, and like I said, the steam tank, a very valuable asset here, because having that terror against all these spearmen will buckle them off. There might be a couple Dryads in here. It looked like there is a little battalion of Dryads here, not even a battalion, but a little group here with 23 models who should be easily fended off by the spears. And at this point, the steam tank should be able to kind of deal with most of these spear units. If I want to, I don't even have to sit here. I can ride back and forth. I can use my steam cannon. And from here, I do also have some Empire Knights coming back in. So we have 21 models here who should be able to come around and maybe ride down some of these archers. In the distance here, you can see that my other Empire Knights were chased off by those Silver Helms and those Reavers. Spearmen able to get a nice screen. I was able to break some time as well for these Reavers, so we're going to hold those guys back. The brave sons of Sigmar holding firm, and Markus Wolfhart coming in with a fat snare net, and the Noble's certainly in a little bit of trouble here as he's going to be getting those point-blank shots. Markus Wolfhart lines up his bow, and it looks like this Noble, just blasted in the face by those silver bullets, put down right there. So the snare net coming in clutch once again. Had those silver bullets been shut down, it could have been a very different situation for sure. Now, some of the High Elf archers in the back, there is a full health group of Lothar and Seaguard, but now we have the steam tank plus Markus just lining up their sights here on Alariel, who is going to be getting healed with an Earthblood, so certainly quite nice there. But it looks like Markus is going to be able to get those sustained shots, and here comes, the focus shot or the Ember Bow, one of the two. And unfortunately, it does hit a couple spearmen, the Sunmaker crew in the way. But you know what? These guys, they have a thirst for blood. The Sunmaker, perhaps Khorne worshippers in disguise, but these guys getting in there, a lot of kills and doing some solid work. Alariel gets popped with the focus shot. Man, I did not see that coming. Markus just getting a ton of damage, and with Alariel taking that kind of work, it's probably going to be getting pretty close to army losses for the High Elves. I mean, they have a fair amount of stuff left, but everything is very beat up, and there's still like a healthy steam tank, a ton of spearmen, and Markus is in very, very healthy shape as well. So here comes some sort of a shot as well. There's the Amber Bow, I think. Yeah, making contact. I guess that was just one of his regular shots earlier, but Alariel is going to be going down there, and or at least is going to be breaking and shattering. And now it's basically just a bunch of high elf spearmen. We do have some archers here in the back trying their best, but they're out of ammunition, and they have to come into melee combat against a spearman, a steam tank, and Markus. Markus, again, pretty decent. 58 melee attack, 45 melee defense, decent weapon strength, but more importantly, the terror of the steam tank is going to be quite substantial. As the spearmen are holding, Markus Wolfheart does have his, what kind of a sword is it? It's like a little broadsword or something. The steam tank is easily terror-routing off these troops. So there are some cav units coming in. Steam tank dropping its glorious steam cannon on anything that gets close. And yeah, the high elves are basically just going to be coming into their mass terror at doom here. As you can see, the steam tank drives in. Those spearmen probably will only last a couple seconds. The Dryads are going to be the saving grace here, as they are immunopsychology, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's not based on frenzy, so Dryads are just baseline immunopsychology, which is pretty cool. Spearmen coming in, Lothern Seaguard coming in as well, but that is going to be army losses. So well played to my opponent, Battleborn. It was a really fun game, very back and forth, and yeah, I mean, look at that. Sunmaker 152, Steam Tank 139. Now, I may hesitate to still call the Sunmaker competitive because it is an arm and a leg. It's like, you're paying like 1,800 gold for that. So what you could get for that in turn is like, you know, some Demogryph Knights with halberds that will just cleave the high elf cav units, right? The steam tank can still pressure, and then it could maybe get into the back line and allow those Empire Knights to do more work. But even still, I mean, it's really not bad. And I feel like mixing it in, maybe it has some competitive applications, like it can catch your opponents off guard. I felt like the steam tank plus the Sunmaker was a little bit too much invested in those type of units, but even still, they both did pretty good. The archers did okay. I mean, they were able to focus down some Dryads, and that's what they do. They're dirt cheap, so it's just kind of a distraction unit. And yeah, Markus was an ace as always, so I'm a huge fan of Markus. One of my favorite characters for sure. So very well played by my opponent, Battleborn. He had a great build. I thought his build was very solid. It's fairly traditional, like what you would see. But yeah, I feel like High Elf build's got to bring something to deal with the steam tank. The steam tank is something you do sometimes see in this matchup, so maybe bringing like the noble on horseback instead of the chariot would have been enough to hammer down that steam tank. So very well played to Battleborn. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this Empire vs. Avelorn game, and guys, we will be seeing you on the other side. Take care.